This interview is brought to you by Dead Man Worx, Tattoos and Body Piercing in Chilliwack, British Columbia, Canada. Make sure you give the dead man a jingle dingle the next time you want a skin doodled in. Hello world, welcome to the Fonz's office. Today, I am here with the Juggernaut, Josh Kwiatkowski. Josh will be fighting this Saturday, June 5th, on the BTC Fight Promotion fight card in Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada. It is titled BTC 10, and it is available at www.btcfight.ca/live. That's the link for that's going off of memory. That's pretty good. So this Saturday, you can purchase the pay-per-view at www.btcfight.ca/live. You can pay $35 for the pay-per-view, or you can get $10 off by supporting this man right here, Josh Juggernaut Kwiatkowski. Josh, how are you doing, my man?
I'm doing awesome, man. I'm stoked to talk to you again. It's been a little bit, and thank you for having me.
You're very welcome. I'm super stoked to talk to you as well. Again, yes, it has been a little bit. I believe the last we talked was prior to your last fight at Rise Fighting Championship, the RFC 6 Fighting the Stigma event, which also was a no crowd event. How was you came out victorious in that fight? You fought a friend of mine and I believe a friend of yours as well, Blake Sigvalson, the Northman. You came out victorious in that fight. How was that fight for you in a no crowd environment?
Obviously, at the end of the day, I want a crowd. I want a big crowd. Fighting is for the fans, right? Like, it's always been about the people watching. So for me, I always want to put on fights that people would like to watch and are going to remember. So it was kind of weird having that lower energy. But for performance wise, it's a lot easier for me to just go in there. It's more intimate. I just go in there, just me, him, and the ref. Go in there, kick his ass, and get out of there, right? So it was nice in that sense that it seems not less risk or less stress, because you still have a guy standing across from you trying to beat you up. Yeah. But you don't have anyone saying something stupid or booing you or you always have to mentally prepare yourself for anything that the crowd can do or say. But I've had people throw shit at me, say shit, like I've been smacked, So it was nice just walking out there kicking ass, so it wasn't too bad.
Excellent. That's a very interesting aspect that you mentioned there, preparing yourself as a fighter for the fight ahead, but also preparing for the crowd, because absolutely we can definitely throw some monkey wrenches into a fight by yelling some things. I experienced that once personally when I was invited to a BFL event and I was sitting cage side, and I was having a discussion with the fighter inside the cage. We were on friendly terms, so it wasn't, but I realized in that moment that, oh shit, he's in the middle of a fight. I shouldn't really be saying anything like this when he's got his coaches right there that are yelling at him. Which is the next thing I wanted to transition into. When you're fighting an opponent with a no crowd, you can obviously hear your coaches a lot better than when, well, I should, that's an assumption as a fan, that you can hear your coaches better with no crowd. A focused fighter can hear their coach, and they don't really, they kind of tune out the crowd in the sense, but when you're fighting and you can hear your coaches, I'm kind of assuming that you can also hear their coaches, your opponent's coaches, instructing them. Does that play into your strategy, or do you just listen to your coaches specifically?
That's I didn't even think of it from that point of view yet, really, because when at least for my last fight when I fought Blake with no crowd, Sean's voice and Dan's voice come to me very clearly. I know them. I train myself to hear all the time, to hear without looking at someone.
Right.
And when I was fighting Blake, I was near my corner, but I didn't hear David Lee's voice. His corner isn't something that's common to me, right? It's
Right.
not something that I tune into. So it kind of gets lost in the white noise, the opponent. And plus, like, hearing what his coach is, it doesn't benefit me. Maybe it could, but at the end of the day, I'm not worried about necessarily. I'm not worried about what my opponent is gonna be focusing on. I'm just focusing on myself the whole camp. I'm working on what I need to do to win the fight. I respect my opponents on skills they have, and my coaches do a great job at preparing me for these fights, and I have complete and utter trust in them. And when it's go time, I just listen to them, and I have faith that if I listen to them, I'll get the win.
Excellent, beautiful, and that's good sound advice for any up and coming fighters as well. With this fight coming up this weekend, where are you training and where are you preparing for this fight?
Ascension Martial Arts with Sean Albrick in Port Coquitlam. Scorpion Martial Arts in Pitt Meadows with Dan Gokar and Naveed, my wrestling coach. And I also train in Surrey doing my strength and conditioning with Garrett Johnson. And then I have a home gym that I put a shit ton of work in. So
Beautiful. Yeah, excellent. That's those home gyms, we're finding more and more fighters incorporating that into their training regime, especially with the situation that's at hand with COVID. That seems to kind of be wrapping up a bit. I'm hopeful with that, and that mixed martial arts will open up on a wider scale here in Canada. We're lucky here in British Columbia that there are some promotions that are putting on events, and that those events are going to be out on pay-per-view for the fans to watch as well. Your opponent this time, Lucas Neufeld. I don't want to say this is a step up because I don't want to discredit opponents in the past, but Lucas is a fighter who has proven to himself to be on a high level in Canadian regional mixed martial arts, as has yourself. I believe he is 5-1. I believe you are 5-2. You guys, your guys' records are fairly close to each other. And you guys across the whole nation, you two fighters have a massive following on social media, and you have a really good fan base in both of your corners. Can you speak a little bit towards how you may have trained a little differently for Lucas as opposed to some other opponents? And without giving away a game plan or anything, what can we expect from this fight?
So, great question. For training differently, each camp has its own hurdles and its own things we focus on. But my camp, I go over with my full schedule from strength and conditioning to my jiu-jitsu, my wrestling, my boxing, everything. Every couple of weeks, me and Sean will sit down, look at my schedule, revamp it, tweak what we need to tweak to get different results or focus on different areas. And we constantly do that every month or 2 to 3 weeks. So it's constantly changing, and the output in which I work is I'm always training, always. If anything, I train a little too much sometimes. So they have to pull the reins back sometimes, you know. But Lucas, just being realistic, Lucas is going to be the toughest fight I've had to date. Not discrediting any of my old opponents. They're all awesome, and they've all pushed me to this limit. And I seen with my progression and Lucas's progression that we were going to fight one day. And I'm excited that it's now. It's on Saturday, and I know this is the best freaking me that he's going to see. And I'm so grateful for everything. I'm grateful for the opportunity. But I'm confident, I'm sure that if I go in there and what to expect, you're going to see the progression in my game, seeing a smart, formed martial artist in all aspects. And wherever the fight goes, cliche as it is, I plan to kick his ass wherever it goes. Like, I don't want the fight to be close. I know he's a very, very talented fighter, but I want to make a statement fighting him. He's the best guy I'm fighting to date. He's never been finished. I want to finish him. I want to be the one that solves that puzzle, right? But it's going to take a smart me, and it's going to take the best me, and I'm ready for that. So people should be excited for Saturday night.
Beautiful. I know that the buzz in the community, both locally here down in the Lower Mainland, as well as in the MMA community as a whole, the buzz is massive for this fight. We got people coast to coast that are talking about it. There are going to be a lot of eyes on this fight. Again, for the fans out there that are listening, the fight is available this Saturday, June 5th. You just go onto your keyboard there, you type in www.btcfight.ca/live, and you get to choose one of the fighters that you want to support, be it Lucas, be it Josh, be it
any of them. Let's go.
There's 11 fights on this fight card, and there are 15 fighters making their pro debut. If there's ever a time to jump behind a fighter and show their support, this pay-per-view event is that event to do so. You've got 11 fighters. You've got 15 fighters out of 11 fights that are pro debuting. You can throw your support behind someone new, or someone who's now 7 fights into their pro career, like Josh the Juggernaut Kwiatkowski. You put your money down on a fighter, you get to save $10 off the price as well. So it's a win-win all around the board. Josh, this fight, if I'm not mistaken, this fight was already scheduled and then it got changed from one fight card to another. Are you able to speak on that? Was the other fight card full? Was there some politics, or is there I'm actually seeing fighters from the BTC promotion on the other fight card. That they've had. So it looks like this is kind of a mutually, it's not like two organizations, oh, we're going against each other this weekend. They're kind of both helping each other out so that it's for the greater good of all Canadian mixed martial arts.
Yeah, basically, my allegiance is to the violence. I want to fight, and I am going to fight, and I'm going to fight everywhere. I want to be an MMA slut. I want to fight all over the world.
Yeah.
And that's my intent. And BTC and BFL letting guys flippy floppy fighting on different shows. We just need fights to happen, and that's it. So it's just a little bit of MMA politics, but at the end of the day, I love all the Canadian fight promotions. Anyone that's given me an opportunity to fight, it means the world to me. So I'm just going to continue fighting for everybody. And I just want to fight and keep kicking ass. And it doesn't matter where I fight. It just matters that I'm fighting somebody. And this whole process is what I love so much in my life. This is the happiest week in my life, is fight week. I know that's weird for some people. Like, they probably be filled with anxiety, this and that, but like, I live for this week. When I know I made it to fight week, it's the happiest week of my life. So
absolutely. And I do have to say that right now you sound very happy. You have a weigh-in tomorrow that you have to go step on a scale. A lot of fighters in these few days before a fight and weigh-ins, they're very grumpy. They're very they're in their heads a lot. You sound calm. You look prepared. You don't look like you got a massive weight cut that you're going to have to make. You're looking in phenomenal shape. Why is that? What's different about the Juggernaut, Josh Kwiatkowski, on fight week, where a day before weigh-in, he looks just as comfortable and as cool as a cucumber, man? How do you do that?
I appreciate that. I will tell you this though. Yesterday I had to miss a meal, and because of just like running around, and I was with my strength coach, Garrett Johnson. Yeah. Ask him how happy I was yesterday when I was missing that meal. But right now I've had breakfast. I'm stoked. When I fought Randy Mahone a few fights ago, I had a terrible weight cut. It wasn't on a surprise. It's not a secret. And from that moment on, with everything that happened leading up to that fight, and just everything that happened with the weight cut, I had to really change the dedication in my diet and my preparation for weight cuts. And that's when I switched full time to my meal prep company, Whole Cuisine, also done through my strength coach, which is awesome. And I walk around like roughly 10, 11 pounds lighter than I normally do. Like, so walking around with that weight, the cut in itself is just so much easier. And now I really don't cut crazy much weight. I would say it's pretty average now. I'm not going down to bantamweight, I don't think. I think 45 is my home. I think there's no point. If I could make bantamweight just to make the weight, it's like I feel so good at 45. I'd rather feel good. I don't want to have to IV. I just want to go in there and kick some freaking ass. Right. And I want to be able to take fights on short notice, because it's not about making the weight. It's about kicking ass in the fight. So that's all I care about. And I feel money. I feel great. I'm going to have a busy day. And a lot of people cutting weight right now, I'm sure they don't have a busy day. So
absolutely. Absolutely. And you nailed it right on the head there too. I love and I respect the fact that the preparation that you've put in outside of the actual training, but looking after your body, looking after your health, which is training, of course, but I mean, not restricted to people that fight. This is something that anybody like myself could do in my own everyday general life, focusing on what is best for self and best for health for yourself, and what can give you that foundation, a solid foundation, as well as propel you forward in whatever it is that you choose to do. That preparedness, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure, is an old saying, and being prepared for the task at hand is half the battle right there.
Amen.
We've got a massive fight card. Like I mentioned, there was 11 fights. Are there any fights on the card? You're the main event for this fight, you and Lucas, correct? Are there any of the fights below you guys on the card that you're looking forward to watching? I don't know if you'll be watching beforehand, but I mean, this is a pay-per-view that when I purchased it, it has unlimited views. So if you purchase the pay-per-view, you'll be able to watch those fights afterwards. Are there any matchups on this card that you're particularly interested in seeing?
My homie, one of my teammates, Jarn, or I call him Harlem because it's his middle name. It's easier for me to say. But Jarn's fighting some Bojack kid or something. I don't know. But I'm stoked for my boy to kick his ass. And I think there's a lot of BC boys on the card fighting people from out of town, right? So anyone from BC, let's clean house. Like, that's all I care about. I'm sure I'll watch the fights after. I'll watch all the card. But it's I'm going there to steal a show and take someone's head back with me, you know, discard it where I may. But I just have a job to do, and unfortunately, I won't be able to watch the event because of the COVID crap and all that stuff. So I'm just gonna go in there, warm up, show up, and kick ass, and it's do or die. So I don't really think about anyone else or anything. Like I don't think about an after party. I'm not thinking about where I'm going to eat after. I'm not thinking about, there's no moment after. The moment is that moment. And after that moment, I'll fucking figure it out. But you know, but after that, I have a job to do.
Absolutely. With Friday night having an event in town as well, the Battlefield Fight League event, the BFL 67 event, which will be available on UFC Fight Pass. Will you have an opportunity to watch that, or do you take the night before to just keep your mind clear?
Sometimes it really depends, right? I'm not mentally weak, so like seeing someone getting knocked out or choked out the night before, though it may give me some tingles in my stomach, it's not going to be like, oh, look what happened. It's reality. This is the sport I've chosen. It's not soccer. So I've accepted everything that can come my way. But it's a two-way street, right? And that's why I love it. Absolutely. So I'm going to be watching fights with my close friends and teammates that night, and I'll be rehydrating, eating meals. But I stay up late the night before a fight, especially with me being the main event now. I'm going to be staying up late, watching movies after the fights, relaxing. And I have my fight day regimen as well. I've already got it all planned out. Have a nice little nappy poo. It's going to be
Beautiful.
good. It's I've already done that day, weigh-ins. I've run through the week a million times, so I can lay it out step by step, and I've prepared for things getting tweaked or messed with, and I've seen it all, and I'm ready. And the only thing I haven't got to see yet is Lucas, which I'm excited. I can't wait to stand across from him tomorrow, look at his eyes, see what he's about. You know, I know he's not a bitch. He's a tough ass kid. So there's a reason I called him out. So I'm super, super excited for the test. Only one guy's beat him, one guy who's in the UFC, and that guy didn't finish him. So I go in there, I knock him out. That's a fucking big statement. So I'm so ready to prove to so many people that I'm ready for that next level.
Yeah, absolutely. The two of you have a opponent in common, the Cleve Bentley, gentleman who you lost to and who Lucas has beaten. Does that play into the mental aspect at all, or were you able to use Lucas's fight, watching that fight, to be able to see some holes in Lucas's game that Cleve may have exposed?
That's his last fight, and that's the fight we have to study and things like that. But I don't even expect that same Lucas in the cage. And I think in my head that him beating Cleve is going to be worse for him than it is for me. I don't give a fuck that I lost to Cleve. Like, I lost to Cleve in a short notice, up a weight division. It wasn't the best me for a lot of reasons, not making excuses, but whatever. That's life. That's reality. It wasn't the best me. I remember like looking at him about to elbow me, and I'll be like, oh, he's about to elbow me. Well, I'm like, holy smokes. I'm like, why am I thinking? So I saw, it was funny because that's funny you brought it up. I typed in Cleve versus Lucas one day on YouTube, and I see someone had posted a video, but it didn't say Josh Kwiatkowski. It said Cleve versus somebody else. It was me and Cleve's fight, and I've never seen it. And I watched it the other day, and I only had the memory in my brain on how the fight went, right? Like, it was one of those moments where it was only by my brain. I've never seen footage, so it's kind of like the nostalgia, kind of like how you may have interpreted it that night. And I watched it, and I was like, who the fuck is that guy? Like, you know, like there was moments of me, but this new version of myself, this metamorphosis of in even 3 or 4 fights, however many fights it's a completely different fighter. And the Cleve that beat me, he didn't fight again for 3 or 4 years. And then in 2019, he fights, first fight back at 45, hasn't made the cut in 4 years or 3 years, fights Lucas, a very busy up and coming killer. And he got lost in the chaos. He got lost in the eye of the storm, and he paid the price. But if you think you beat someone that beat me, and that's why you're going to beat me, that MMA math does not work. So you can get that out of your head, right? So if that's the thin line he's hoping, is like, yeah, I beat this guy and he beat him.
You dug the next question out of me with your answer there, because that was essentially what I was going to ask, was if you thought that it may affect Lucas perhaps more than it would affect you, and then to wrap it up with that whole MMA math thing, that MMA math, just take that and throw that out the window, because it doesn't make sense when two fighters come in and enter onto that combat surface and they face each other and they are ready to throw down. Anything can happen. You take that math and you throw it out the window. On most occasions, the better prepared man or woman will win that fight. But like I say, everybody has a game plan until you get punched in the face. I believe Mike Tyson had said something along those lines, and that's absolutely true, man. In wrapping up, is there anything you would like to conclude with? Are there any people that you would like to thank? Anything that's on your mind? The floor is yours. This is Josh the Juggernaut Kwiatkowski.
First and foremost, thank you for the time. I love talking with you, man. I love anyone that supports local MMA. This is my whole life. Like, the only thing I love more than fighting is my family. And yeah, I see people fighting into the old age, and people are like shitting on them. They're like, oh, why are they still fighting? Why are they still fighting? I get it. You know, I get it. It's going to be hard when I have to stop fighting too. That's a long ways away, but Saturday night I have the toughest test in my career, and I'm so excited. I wanted this person. I don't rarely call people out, but I want to call people out that are tough. I want to call people out that a lot of people aren't barking up that tree, you know? So on Saturday night, I'm going to prove that I made a good call, and I know I can beat him, and I'm going to show people the progression of my game, and I have my whole team to thank for that. Sean Albrecht, Dan, Naveed, Garrett Johnson, Micah Brakefield, JR, Keenan, all my teammates, everyone that pushes me. I love you guys so much. All my martial arts teams, my family, you're the best. You're crazy. I love you so much. but you guys support me through all my ups and downs. And this last 15, 16 months for absolutely everyone has been tough, no matter your views or no matter what. It hasn't been an easy year for anyone. So everyone going through some tough times back at home, or lost a loved one, or whatever you're dealing with, or you're just stuck in isolation, you're going crazy. I think this is all ending fairly soon, and I'm sending some good vibes and some good energy that way, and hopefully this gets wrapped up real quick.
Awesome, man. What a beautiful sentiment to end on. The world is a crazy place over there. Well, it's a crazy place in general, but I mean, the last year and a bit hasn't done anything to help that craziness except to spread it further around the world. At a time like this, it stresses the importance of being mentally strong, to try to anybody that's out there that is having challenges with the mental aspect of making it through the times that we are in. There are definitely people that you can reach out to. If you don't know of anybody in yourself personally, you can reach out to the Fonz's office. You can reach out to the Superfan. You can reach out to myself, and I will do what I can to help put people in touch with the right people. I've gone through my own stuff. I'm very transparent and very open about my life. I have my own mental health challenges, and this year was not an easy year for anybody, but for myself, it was a year that I was able to really focus on that mental aspect and trying to strengthen that inner self, and really believing in myself that I can do anything positive that I put my mind to, and so can you. And that's for all of you out there in the world who are watching this podcast, watching this interview with Josh Juggernaut Kwiatkowski. Reach out, put a hand up, and there will be a hand there to try to help you. And with that, a reminder to everybody out there, BTC Fight Promotion, BTC 10, this Saturday, June 5th, on www.btcfight.ca/live. $35. You choose a fighter like Josh the Juggernaut Kwiatkowski, it's only $25. I believe it says on the website you have to order before Friday to receive that $10 discount. So don't delay, order today. BTC 10 is going to be off the charts, and it's headlined by this man right here, Josh the Juggernaut Kwiatkowski, as he faces off against Lucas Neufeld. Josh, thank you very much for making time to come on here to the Fonz's office. I really appreciate you, my man. I appreciate your family who are watching. Shout outs to all of you. And man, I am so looking forward to watching you on the big screen out in the living room on Saturday night with BTC Fight Promotion. Josh Kwiatkowski, thank you, my man. Any further words from you?
No, brother, you nailed it, bro. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
And thank you, my man. To all of you out there in the world, thank you for watching. This is Jeff Lott with the Fonz's office, and I am signing out.